Hello, fellow soul travelers. Good morning. Have you ever felt, guys, like just getting in your car with your passport and a bit of money and just driving to the nearest airport, an international one, and just getting on a plane, going somewhere, just going? I have. I'm thinking about that today. I'm thinking that we can get internally and externally in a fucking rut, R-U-T capital, and that it's time to do something rather than just going within, which is very important, but to actually do something actively. Not in the sense of, you know, I'm going to go to India to find myself. Not in that way, but just to get out, just to go somewhere else, a completely different environment, different culture, different people, different weather, different food. You know, I've been strongly, more and more drawn to go to Malta. Something is telling me you must go to Malta. I feel a very strong pull to Malta. So I may, one of these days, do that and not take my tobacco. Because there are many interesting things, structures in Malta. There is something in Malta. I don't know where or what it is exactly. They have a resonance chamber there, some sort of very ancient megalithic ritual chamber where they say sound healing was conducted. Now I don't know if that's true, of course, nor do I know how old this place is, because history is not what we're told it is, so it's very difficult to... What are you doing? Cats, I tell ya. You okay? Did you see that? Probably not. Anyway, that doesn't matter, but... Now, son, you alright? You're trying to get to the eye of the needle there, eh? Yeah. He's a bit fat. Anyway, so, that there are many things on Malta that, for some reason, I think are very important. Well, to me, at any rate. So I need to get there at some point. So I've come across lately on Facebook, I come across people who beginning to really see the utter nonsense that is the New Age. But I think that, and this is where I went, this is what I was talking about in that video I did called Discernment, that what the New Age does, it takes some very sound principles and wraps it up in a load of utter toxic bullshit, gives it to the people. There are some people who will accept the whole package and think it's the ultimate truth, as in don't acknowledge the darkness. You're responsible for creating all the shit in the world because you're being negative, because you're a negative thinker. So just turn away from all that negativity and just don't give it any of your time, any of your attention, don't acknowledge it in any way, and you sit around saying, "Ow," and being really positive, and then it will all just poof, go away. That's it. Which, of course, is just a psyop. We know this, we have to look at it, we have to look at all of it, because the darkness out there is very real and it's done a number on us as well, so it warrants our attention without sucking us in to the extent where we start to think that all there is darkness and there's nothing we can do. There is plenty that we can do, and we are doing it. There is inner work to be done, there is outer work to be done, action to be taken, but of course not the type of action. I was talking to my half-brother in Holland the other day, and I asked him about the yellow vest movement, and he said, oh, it's gone, finished, done. And that's just it, isn't it? That's it. If I'm rambling on a bit this morning, guys, bear with me, because you know how it is. These are people, time and time again, that feel agitated and fed up, but they do not have the wherewithal to understand that it's utterly futile to ask the dark forces to give them a reprieve of the oppression and the subversion and the nasty shit that they do. It's futile. It's like, yes, guys, let's ask evil to stop being evil. I'm sure it will. Yeah, right. It's like, do you remember the 99 one, the 99% or something? That never went anywhere either. You know, time and time again this shit happens. It is a sign of the unrest in the general sense, without a doubt, but it's also a sign of the utter ignorance and stupidity of people to think that they've got to go back to authority to ask them to loosen the noose around their necks. We're so habituated to authority, and we're so habituated to the divide and conquer, because, you see, we don't need them and their systems, right? If some psycho decides we're gonna have a war and nobody shows up, then there is no fucking war. But the divide and conquer and the manipulation and the MK Ultra business that's going on, and the trauma-based mind control, which is the MK Ultra business, ascertains that people time and time again look to authority and do what it says and ask it, oh, please don't hurt us. The New Age is very much a psyop. It always was. But within it, there are pearls. If we reject everything it says to us without examination, then we are doing ourselves a disservice. You've got to understand, the reason the New Age is in existence in the first place is because the dark side knew damn well there was going to be an awakening. So they sit around and they think, how can we stop it from happening? These are natural grassroots things that are coming up here. Spirituality, things like, people like Carl Jung, other people that have ideas and that write books about them. Something is coming up, something is bubbling to the surface. We must hijack it. How do you hijack something? You take these very sound principles and you think, right, what we want is, we want people to reject offhand these very sound spiritual principles that are timeless and that work. We want people to reject those. That's what we want. We want people to dissociate from them. So I tell you what, we'll take them and then we'll warp them and we'll contort them and we'll chuck them in a cauldron and mix them up with loads of absolute toxic shit, and then we'll give it to the people, and some will just accept it all, and because it's mixed with so much toxic shit, it will fuck them up anyway and totally mislead them, as in love and light. Or people will get really, really angry and reject it, all of it, even the good stuff in it. One way or another, either way, the sound principles in it, the pearls, as it were, in the mug, are either misconstrued and misused and misunderstood, or rejected out hand, so they go to waste. And that is the whole point. That's why they do it. They're very clever. They're masters of psychology, people, which is why I always say that we need to be masters of psychology, and this is something we can work on. I mean, New Age memes are everywhere, and they are always there to disempower us, mostly. Like, you need to be nice to everybody. That plays in so deeply, because when you think about it, a lot of people, especially empaths, have massive trouble with boundaries. I know I do, still. I have issues with it. And you'll come across this issue every layer. The deeper you go within yourself, the more you get the sense of the mind control at play there. Sensitive, naturally empathetic or empathic, naturally empathic, compassionate, loving people, soul travelers, feel often enough that, oh, I shouldn't have boundaries. It means I'm a bad person. I should be nice and I should be kind and I should be easygoing at all times. And I had this experience because, and it brought it to my attention again, a guy came around my house to paint my my spare room, as it were, and my hallway. And he didn't speak any English, and he said he was Greek, but he wasn't, because he was speaking Romanian, and I understand Romanian a little bit. And it wasn't Greek, it was Romanian. So he was lying about that, and I thought to myself, well, in this country, being Romanian can meet with a bit of a backlash. People think of gypsies and whatnot, rather than taking a person on an individual basis, you know. They say, oh, whatever. So I thought, okay, well, that's fair enough. I won't say anything. I know he's Romanian, but it doesn't bother me because I like to take people on an individual basis. But of course, and I felt sorry for him. I felt a sense of his sense of he's in a strange country. He doesn't speak the language. He seems lonely and lost. And I felt sorry for him. I have that feeling. I get this a lot with people where I feel... And I know it sounds condescending, and it's not meant condescendingly at all. I often feel sorry for myself too, you know. It isn't meant that way. But, you know, people are lost. People do feel disenfranchised. People leave their countries because there's nothing there for them. They leave everything behind and they come to a place like England where it's cold and where it's grim. They must feel like shit. I know I would. You know, so I really felt bad for him. You know, and I made him a cup of coffee and I asked if he wanted some lunch and whatnot. He didn't, but he did drink my coffee, which was nice because I make good coffee. English people, right, they never drink my coffee because it's not cheap, nasty, instant, so it's no good. But he liked my coffee, so I thought that was a good thing. But, you know, then he did the job. And there's me being all nice and all kind and all empathetic and all fucking compassionate. And it came time for payments. And because halfway through the job I asked him to do more than just the one room. I said, can you do my hallway as well? And we didn't really talk about money, which we should have, but we didn't. Again, boundaries. So I said, how much are you going to charge me then? And he gave me a figure that was just far too high. Far too high. No good. So I said to him, I mean, at first it was like, oh, we'll just give it to him because poor man. And then I was like, no, Anika, you need to have boundaries. So I said, no, that's too much. This much. Oh, okay then. And then after, and I paid him that, and he left, and the job was done, and it was good, and it was fine. But then I felt guilty. I had this sense of guilt. It was like, well, you should have just given him what he asked for because... you know, you're better off than he is, and all this type of crap. And it was like, whoa, man, fucking hell. Programming, you see. Don't have boundaries. You're not a nice person for having boundaries, and you're not a nice person for looking after yourself and tending to your own needs and not allowing yourself to be ripped off. Empaths often experience this type of scenario where you take far too much shit from other people because you feel that, oh, it's not really their fault and they can't help it and I'm strong and I feel such compassion. You inevitably feel compassion for people. But that doesn't mean you're a fucking doormat. It made me feel angry because I recognise when programming and stuff is at work in my psyche, and I know that it isn't right. And at the onset you feel as if you're doomed if you do and you're doomed if you don't, because if you give in and allow people to take advantage of you, you feel like shit inevitably. But if you then say, no, this is where I draw the line in the sand, I am not allowing you to take the piss out of me, I respect your right to be, but do not encroach upon my territory here, then you also feel guilty because the programming is there saying, oh no, you shouldn't have boundaries. Nice people don't have boundaries. Nice people have the word I am a doormat written on their forehead in big black letters. Man, oh man. So I became really acutely aware of that, you know. It also pertains to who and what and where you spend your time. You can spend your time with people that are perfectly lovely people, but they're not on the level. And their energy is erratic, stressful, angry, fearful. It's mass consciousness of, I'm running a risk assessment operation. I'm worried, I'm afraid, I expect the worst that way, I'll never be disappointed. People that talk, and you can never get a word in edgeways. People that make you feel, you know. Boundaries say you need to get away from those people. Yes, they're nice people, yes, they mean well, but they make you feel like shit, not because they mean to or they want to or because they're bad, but because they are there. And they're still in the distortion field. You're here. You're beginning more and more to disentangle yourself from the distortion field. And you cannot hang out with people that are in the distortion field because its tentacles reach out and start to drag you back in. So that's another thing where boundaries are important. To recognize people, places, events, your own shit, your own habits that are toxic and serve us not. And the boundaries are there to say, no, don't want to, not good for me. And you will always know it because you get a feeling of discomfort of, this doesn't feel good, this doesn't feel right, this person doesn't feel right. And you have to just go, okay. Or, if that's not possible, then limit your exposure to set people, set places, such as set events. You have to. Some of us have jobs that we like, but the people that we work with are just fucking untenable. And so we have to leave our jobs and we have to make massive life changes, which in and of itself can be very, very unnerving. I've had to do that. I've had to walk away from jobs. I've had to walk away from relationships. I've had to walk away from shitloads of stuff in my life because it was just bloody distortion field stuff. And it had to be cut loose. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, but that is what the programming wants you to think. You're a bad person for having boundaries and you have to keep inserting yourself into the distortion field with the rest of them and mulch through it and allow it to distort you as well and to start doubting yourself and to start doubting the veracity of your truth. Because that is what happens inevitably, you know. The New Age is full of people who are not doing the work. They're not going within themselves. They're all love and light. Love and light, love and light. Pedophilia, oh, you know, yeah, they do. They say that, oh, you've created that through your negative thinking. You know, what you focus on and all. But it behoves us to know what's going on. And it also behoves us not to get entirely sucked into that, because it is the distortion field. And we cannot fix everything in this world. Indeed, we have not created it. It is not our fault. And we cannot take it all on our backs. We're not fucking Atlas people. We can't do that. It will destroy us. So yes, see, no. And also know that this whole fucking world is an illusion. It's an illusion, it's Maya, that the only thing ultimately that you can do is go within yourself and keep digging. It's like a complex mining operation, I always say. Keep allowing spirit to show you the way through and out. This world seemingly is a world of bricks and mortar, but it isn't. It's a fucking illusion. I know this because I've experienced these slips and these shifts. Time slips, time shifts, reality shifts. Weird shit has happened to me, man. Time and time again, where I've seen literally that, oh wow, up on the moors here, man. Like, and it's all shimmery and weird and distorts. And it goes further away and it comes closer to me. And I know that what I'm dealing with is some sort of portal or some sort of shift or whatever. I don't claim to know exactly what's going on there. I don't know. But my intuition, my trusted inner compass always tells me that this world is not what you think it is. Mundane reality programming, people. So the New Age is all about allowing yourself to be deceived into complete disempowerment, into being a fucking jellyfish, a doormat, and not doing any of the work at all. Which is why so many of these New Age people are so toxic, and it's full of narcissists, you know. It's all about me, I'm so important, and, you know, social justice warriors and narcissistic fucking assholes, you know. And again, I have compassion for them, but at the same time, no, I don't want to take your shit, get the fuck away from me. Goodbye. And then you get the other side of the spectrum, where you have the conspiracy theorists and the truthers, and they go the exact opposite. They're like the polarity, aren't they? The exact opposite. Where it's like, well, it's all dark and evil is everywhere and we must focus on it all the time, 24/7. And also not do any of the inner work at all, because it's got nothing to do with me. It's all there, it's all on the outside, it's all there on the outside, and nothing to do with me. Well, again, that's a fallacy, and that isn't right. You were born into this world. If there's shit going on out there, and there is, we all know it is, then there is shit going on in here that warrants our attention. You see, polarities, you know, left, right, wrong, up, down, black, white, all the fucking time, and it's all bullshit, because there is no balance in it, people, and nothing good will come out of that. I think it is important that we take responsibility for our own consciousness. We have lived in this matrix, and believe me when I say the whole experience is in and of itself a distraction. It's interesting, that's a paradox, because we're here for a reason, but it is also a constant distraction. Most people spend their lives reacting without awareness. We still do that a lot because it's what we're habituated to. Shit that happens causes strong emotions. It starts the mind generator going tick, 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 you know. It was like that yesterday. Because the cognitive dissonance comes back in. It's like, well, you should be a nice person. You should have given him what he wanted. And of course, no, I'm not going to do that because that's wrong. Why should I? Wow. And if you do give in, listen to that programming, be a doormat, and oh boy, you really will feel like shit, you know, anyway. So, it's treacherous territory, people. The Matrix is treacherous, distractive, illusionary territory. The one thing that comes to me time and time again is we need to be present and aware at all times. You get a Facebook post somewhere that will say that, you know, you need to be this and you need to be that and you need to be present and aware at all times, and you know, oh, mindfulness. Which then makes you feel like shit, because you know damn well that actually you're present and aware some of the time, but a lot of the time you're not present and aware, you're just busy reacting and struggling and getting it wrong, or so you perceive. And these nice New Age quotes make it sound so easy. They do that on purpose, because by doing that they make you feel like you're a complete fucking failure and like giving up, like thinking, oh well, is so, they make it sound so easy. Clearly everybody else is getting it right, but I'm not able to get it right. Well, that's the fact. Nobody is getting it right. People get it right some of the time, and they get it wrong a lot of the time. But the getting it wrong is part of the journey, and it means you'll get it right. Because all these so-called mistakes are very important for our, you know, it's part of the fucking experience, people. Don't worry, alright? There was one good Facebook post which I really like, and it said, of course I struggle. Of course I fucking struggle, but I also never give up. That's where it's at, people. You see? That's where it's at. The New Age would have you believe that if you're struggling, you're getting it wrong. That if you're feeling like shit and you're feeling really angry, that you're a bad person. You should never feel angry. Mindfulness. Which is so fucking crap, because on the one hand, they tell you, the New Age, that, oh, the mind is bad. The mind is bad, you must reject the mind. Lose your mind and come to your senses. But then on the other side, they'll come at you saying, oh, mindfulness, mindfulness. This is what I mean. That's clearly a psyop, right? That's narcissistic abuse. If you look at narcissism, that is what they do. They gaslight you, you know, and that's what that is all about. Because on the one hand, they say, oh, the mind is bad. On the other hand, oh, mindfulness, you see, it's all bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. And that is the kind of environment that we find ourselves in, people. An environment of extreme polarities, an environment of gaslighting. And so, yes, we have to become very good at it. We have to learn to really get it. How does this work? What's going on here? Where are my boundaries? What do I accept into my life, into my psyche? What kind of behavior am I okay with? What kind of behavior am I not okay with? It's a bit of a fucking process in and of itself. It's trial and error, you know. But boundaries are incredibly important. I'm really beginning to sense this. It's very big. People with no boundaries will get depressed, will get sick physically, will get anxious, will feel continuously used and abused. Well, but at least I'm being a good person. Well, no, actually, you're not being a good person, because what you're contributing to the world is the notion that you're a fucking victim and that you're powerless and that you're a doormat. That is your legacy to the world if you refrain from setting up boundaries. So you're not helping the world, you're actually harming it. And you're not helping the world by accepting everything the New Age gives you and, oh, I'm a starseed, that's who I am. I'm part of this group, we're a group and we all think the same way. We're all starseeds and this is what we do, we're light workers and this is why we're here and we're all the same and we all think the same thing. But we don't do any work on ourselves and we're really toxic people. And we don't have any boundaries because we're so loving and easygoing and everything goes and oh, darkness, oh, we mustn't focus on that. Or the other side of the spectrum, where they vehemently oppose the New Age. I do as well, but I extract the few bits of value in it, take that, use that. It helps, I know, so that's good. The rest, out the door. Then you go to the other side, right? So you get the conspiracy theorists, and they're just, a lot of those people are just haters. That's all they want to do. And they're full of rage, full of feeling powerless, and full of self-hate. They're also not doing the work on themselves. I've noticed it because on my channel, obviously, my channel is not about me pretending to be anything. So I just want to be, any time I do a video, I just want to be where I'm at that precise moment. So some videos I have a good rant, I get angry, I let it all up and out, and I'm good with that. But then other videos, I'm a bit more sort of, you know, I talk about other stuff, you know, look. And I choose to do it that way because it shows you what's real. Real is that there is all kinds of shit going on within us. All kinds of shit. We're not these perfect type creatures. We're going through something big here, very big and very nebulous, and it's a big thing. It's like an orchestra. It's like, you know, like Brahms's German Requiem or something like that, you know. Yes, we struggle. We get angry. We have every right and reason to be. I like to call out the darkness for what it is. It has to be. I also like to introspect and go within myself. I like to learn how to really have my own back and how to set good, strong boundaries. How to dismantle and disintegrate the fucking programming. To heal myself, to love myself. To continue to allow truth to be revealed. So that's why my videos are the way they are. And when I do these videos where I'm angry, where I do a good rant, where I this, that and the other, I talk about NPCs, I talk about all kinds of stuff, I find that, you know, I gain subscribers, I get lots of thumbs up, this, that and the other. Then, when I do a video that's more geared towards the mystical side of it all, that talks about the power of love and introspection and doing the work within yourself and whatnot, I inevitably lose those subscribers because they're not on board with that, because they want to be angry, they want to be victims. They don't realise that they're being victims, they just want to rage against the machine perpetually, but they don't want to do the inner work that's required. Now when I do a rant and all that, I lose subscribers because they're like, oh, that's bad, you shouldn't say that, that's bad, you should be positive at all times. You know, so it's like, well, I mean, that's just the way of it with a YouTube channel, I guess. You know, you gain some, you lose some. I mean, my subscriber levels sort of go up incrementally, and that's fine. Though I don't actually want loads and loads and loads of subscribers, because I like to be able to reply to comments. You know, I like to, because I like you all. You know, I get such wonderful comments. You know, there's this lovely lady in Tennessee who posts beautiful poetry in the comment sections. Thank you. I have a lovely subscriber from Brazil, which just is so cool. You know, people from all over the world, and I'm interested in people. I'm interested in their experiences. I'm interested in their lives, in their feelings, in their journey. You are my soul, my fellow soul travelers. Of course I'm fucking interested. So when I get your comments, I read them and I like to reply. So no, I don't want thousands of subscribers, and I hope that doesn't happen, because then I would not be able to do that, and it would just be too big, and that's really not what I want my channel to be about. I don't think there are that many very deeply awakening people here. I could be wrong, maybe I am. But polarity, and you're not, you know, it's not okay to have good, strong boundaries. Or some people have boundaries that are so thick, nothing gets through. You know, they create like a sort of islands, and that isn't good either. But yes, narcissists, boy oh boy. That's another part of this journey, isn't it? Like I said, a bit of a ramble, Kai. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Fuck that. Why did I say that? Do you see what I mean? That's like lack of boundaries. Why should I be sorry? No, I'm not. It's almost like verbal diarrhea. It just comes out. Oh, I'm sorry. Because you're used to saying that. Because it's like, well, you know, everything you do affects everybody else, and who you should be sorry. I'm not sorry. I've nothing to be sorry for, actually. My mistakes are an important part of me, and sooner or later they will show themselves up to be pure gold. So, you know, we have nothing to be sorry for, people. But yes, narcissists, boy oh boy, it's all about them. Look at me. And yeah, the New Age is full of that, and so is the Truther movement. That's full of that as well. They never share, they never give. They want everybody to share and give to them, you know. And I'm a bit sick of people like that, frankly. It sucks. People are drawn into the distortion field of the polarity, thinking they have to be either one or the other. I see the polarity's distortion field, and I see that there is pearls scattered throughout it, so I extract the pearls and I leave the rest. And when I do that, I find that works well for me. When I forgive myself for perceived mistakes, and by forgiveness I don't mean you got it wrong, no, but it's like self-compassion, isn't it? Hey, you think you got it wrong and you sat there feeling really shitty right now, but actually that mistake, or what you think is a mistake, whether you made it way back in the past where you didn't have a clue, or whether you made it yesterday when you had more of a clue, but yet again you made that same mistake that you've kept making for the last 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, it's okay, because you will get it. Eventually it will just click into place. We have to get it wrong a lot, because it's a very good, thorough grounding in getting something, and when you then get it, boy, you really get it. You know, it's really crystallized within you, and it becomes your greatest source of power and strength. I am big on making mistakes, people. Go, make mistakes. Make shitloads of mistakes. It's good for you. Go for it. And don't beat yourself up. Somebody else will do that, you know, they will do inevitably. And when they do, don't worry about that either. Because again, that will become a source of great strength. We have no control over other people, over their opinions, over their beliefs, over their toxicity, or their love, or their goodness, or their whatever they are. We have no control over that. It's okay. But we've been told we need to fear them. We need to fear the NPCs. That the NPCs create this reality. Well, that may be true to an extent, you know, consensus and all. But do you honestly believe that the non-consciousness hive mind is more powerful than the raw, pure consciousness power of the soul travelers is unable to create what it's meant to create here? Come on, people, get real. We are raw. We are raw. We are dripping with rawness. You know, we're not polarized. We are polarized, but within the polarization and within the distortion field, we remain pure. There is a part of us that remains pure. It's our true self. It's the essence. It's God. It's the goddess. It's everything. We are everything. And this notion that we're not and that we're somehow broken is the overlay, and it's an illusion. You know, the empty people out there, honestly, I believe with all my heart, they're neither here nor there. Yes, the dark side funnels itself through them. They all go and vote. We have a general election coming up in England. Again, same dog and pony show, same Plato's cave scenario, right? And, well, they may well go and vote for the Tories again, you know, or whatever. It's the same old, same old. And that is how that works. You know, the NPCs go into the polling booths, being, you know, voting for Brexit, even though it's going to totally cripple this country. I'm not saying that the EU is a good thing. It's not. It's a totalitarian, evil, gaslighting regime. But remember, always create chaos. Yeah, they like to create chaos, and so that's really what that was all about. People, the hive mind is so easily manipulated. Ooh, completely. That's why it exists, so that the dark forces can create their reality through it. But us, soul travelers of the true Phoenix consciousness, we are creators, right? 100th monkey effect, people. Everything we do has a bearing on the field to create undistortion. That is why we are here, and we are doing it. And that doesn't mean we have to get it right all the time. It doesn't mean we have to be perfect. We're not the fucking Borg. We can get it wrong. We can be a garbled mess. We can be on our knees begging for mercy and flying up in the sky with utter elation. We can be everything that we are. We are diamonds. Diamonds have many facets. The best diamonds often have a flaw within them. It's what makes them so rare. You know, these really rare. There was a blue diamond was found in India, and it had this weird kind of flaw, and it was worth millions. And there's always that song, you know, by Pink Floyd, Shine On, You Crazy Diamond, which I love that song, you know. So shine on, you crazy diamonds, and I include myself in that, people. Because despite the complete and utter insanity of this world, the distortion fields, the polarities, the people that don't want to do the work, but that are busy banging their heads against the wall, or the people that are busy just being love and light, love and light. We're here and we see all of that. And we have the courage of our truth. We have the courage of our raw consciousness, the courage of our love. The love that destroys in order to give birth. That is love. That is true creativity. That is infinite fucking power. Not the power to control or to possess, but the power of infinite creativity, which is love. And yes, no doubt, some people will listen to this video and say, love, that's all bullshit, that's new age. Because they don't understand, they misunderstand, and that means you haven't done the work then. But if you're a soul traveller, you'll work it out eventually, and that's great. And you know what? Maybe when you work it out, you'll find that you still don't agree with me, and that's great. Because we're individuals. Yes, I agree. Annie Child did a good little video. We are not all one. And yay, I agree with that. We are not all one at all. We are individuals. We are connected. There is a connectivity here. Without a doubt. That is a fact. But doesn't mean we're all one. That is so Brave New World by Huxley, you know. Fucking hell. We are all one. Join us, join us, join us. It's like Village of the Damned, isn't it? They were all one as well. Yeah. So, we are here, we are soul travellers people. We are pure, raw, creative, infinite creative powerfulness and magicalness. We are not prisoners of mundane reality programming. We don't have to join a cause. We don't have to be doormats. We can have good, strong boundaries. Make good choices. And when we do get it wrong, we don't make good choices and we get it all wrong and we end up a garbled mess for a while, then that's okay too, because all is utilised. Remember this, people. We won't lose because we can simply love. The power of love doesn't give a fuck whether you get it wrong. It's not there saying, you got it wrong. It's not. It never does. That's love. Love is pure. Love says, hey, you got it wrong because you meant to get it right. And by getting it wrong, you're giving yourself this really in-depth experience here. And it's valuable. And it's okay. Because now you're going to understand. You're going to see. You're going to understand more. You see? It's all part of the experience. There is no right or wrong in that sense. You know? And it's a very individual thing. So whatever your experience is will not be my experience. Whatever your ideas and will be slightly different from mine. And again, I'm a great believer in that. We are all individual, unique expressions of the divine. We are. Even, like, you know, the love and light people, even the truthers banging their heads against the wall. And everything in between. It's all part of the experience, otherwise obviously it wouldn't be here. It's all there for us to witness and observe. Sometimes get stuck in for a bit and then come out of it again. That's like a reconnaissance, you know, that's like going on a reconnaissance mission. That's what we're here to do. That's what all this whoa, insanity and experience and ooh, and now I'm getting it wrong and getting it right and going up and going down. That is what it's all about. It's a reconnaissance mission, see? You know, we're dropped behind enemy lines to find out what it's all about. And then come out. And then we know exactly what to do, don't we? Know thine enemy. And of course it's not really an enemy. Not really. It is, but it isn't. You see, it's very paradoxical, very mystical. And it is distractive. But we are up to the job, people. I can see this all the time. I have great faith in all of us. And I love you all. And I think you're brilliant. So, what day is it today? Oh yes, Thursday. Is Is it though? Is there such a thing as Thursday? There is no spoon, people. Take care, my darlings.